Did you all get this case study? Hello? Why am I not hearing anything?
Yes, miss.
All of you got the case studies? Did you write? Did you all write the answers?
Some of the answers
Sorry?
only know.
You wrote the answers?
First question.
Tanushika, Tanya, Amrita. Hello? Can you share the answers in this group? To the chat? Tanya?
Yes, miss.
Tanya?
Yes, miss.
Can you, did you do the homework?
First one.
Sorry?
Question only I wrote the answers.
I didn't, you're not clear.
Miss, I only wrote first question.
You wrote only first question. Okay. What about others? What about others? What about others?
Miss,
If you all don't talk, I don't know. I gave a homework and I expect you to answer because otherwise I don't know how, what did you get, isn't it? Whether you are doing it because this counseling is a practice. It's just not something that you can do it with only the notes. It's something you have to practice. So that's why I given you a case study. So you all have to tell me or either at least type. Otherwise, it's difficult for me because I'm just moving to the final stage of the counseling, right? With by today, it's almost over. One more class, so it's almost over. So how are you going to do it? You have to talk. Otherwise, I don't know. No. Hmm? Is there any problem in the mic, or you can't hear me?
I can hear you, miss.
You can hear me. Okay, good. So you answered questions. Did you all go through? Can somebody read it?
Shall I read, miss?
Yeah, please.
Nainini is the only female child with two brothers.
Mhm.
Father was an alcoholic and died few years ago. Father always tortured wife and children without proper reasons. Naini's entire childhood was unpleasant. She studied up to A level and got this garment factory job 2 years ago. Nalini stays in a nearby house in a small dark room. She has no much contact with the houseowner family. She is not happy with her career. The only reason to continue the job is survival and to feed the mother at home. Her home is in a small hamlet in down south. Two brothers are married and live in another village far away. Nalini's present difficulties are headache, poor appetite, memories of a broken love affair in the school, lack of interest for any leisure activity, and sexual feelings. She feels loneliness and isolation. She has a computer in the room, but she is unable to go to the websites.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is the question?
First one, if you are the class teacher of Nalini, what would be your advice to her at school?
Okay. You wrote answer? Yeah, tell me.
I would try to give her more attention. I would help her to set new goals, tell her that the situation won't be the same if you work hard on your goals.
Okay. Cool. Now, I'm just asking you. You said that you will encourage her, you will give her more attention, and you will let her help to come up. So now you are a student who learned counseling and guidance, isn't it? Now, how will you use those skills in guiding this child as a child? Tanya, how will you do that? Now you can use some of your guidance, right? Isn't it? When you see, now you use your observation skills first of all, right? We learned about observation skills, isn't it? So you use your observation skills first of all to identify what actually Nalini is going through. You see a difference in her attitudes and behaviors. If she is going through a traumatic thing in her house, so you will be looking into the behaviors first. Observation. You will do the observation. So according to your observation, you would have seen that she is isolating herself. She is scared. She is not concentrating, and all those things, right? So, what is your next step? Can be anyone else? Okay, tell me, everyone. Did you all read read the case? Everybody read the case.
Miss, I didn't had internet connection, so I couldn't go through that.
So you didn't get the case.
I have to check with that because I didn't check my mail yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Angavi texted me that she has sent me a mail, so
Oh,
I have to check with that.
okay. Any others? Tanushika,
மிஸ் சங்கவி வந்து மிஸ் மெயில் பண்ணல மிஸ்.
உங்களுக்கு பண்ணலையா?
பண்ணல.
சங்கவிக்கு சொன்னேன் எல்லாருக்கும் பண்ண சொல்லி.
ஓ ஆனா
I
இன்னைக்கு
asked her to
காலையிலயும்
mail everyone. Uh-huh.
காலையிலயும் பார்த்தா நான் மெயில் பண்ணி இல்ல.
Okay. When you are texting me, just tell me who you are because otherwise I don't know. Now this Galaxy A20, who is this? Right. Amrita, you got it? Amrita?
Yeah, ma'am. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Amrita.
Yeah, ma'am.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it. I wrote only for the first question.
You wrote only for the first question. Okay, tell me, what is your answer? Ah, okay, this is net me.
Now, hello.
Yeah, you tell me.
Now that girl doesn't have any kind of love, which means there is no one to care for her. So if I am with her, like I will be some friendly with her. So I will
Mm-hmm.
talk to her and I will try to make her to come up with like அந்த பிரச்சனையில இருந்து அவ வாரத்துக்கு மாதிரி I will guide.
But
So
before,
I
right, before doing that, do you think a child will talk to you openly? Will tell you all these issues?
no. No, definitely no. First, I have to. Everyone has different problems, so we don't know. So we
So
started
when
to
you have
talk with
40 students in a class, you have 40 students in your class
Hmm,
or 35 students in your class. So you can observe
hmm,
certain differences in this child, but you first you need to uh, do the observation and call her and ask her. Try to be friendly with her. Yes, you are correct. Try to be friendly
hmm,
and call her, make her feel easy, hmm?
hmm.
And you can start talking to her. Yes.
And
But
have to
do you
build the
think
trust. Have to build the trust.
have to be the
Trust.
you
It
you
should
have to
be
build the
really.
trust.
Normally, the teachers will do what gossiping. If
Yes.
know about it, they will teacher and gossiping about the kid. Even in my school, right?
Yeah.
So
Normally that
that
happens.
we to
No.
build as a student, have to make sure to not tell us anyone. Like,
Yes. So you have
yes,
to first
hello,
make sure
this
that
is
you are
him.
not. Yeah, I understand. First, you have to make sure that you are not judging her, and make sure that she is not getting the
Yeah,
message that you are she is getting judged or she will get punished for anything, right? So that's why we
mm, mm,
even in the classroom management we can do a better classroom management with uh, without judgmenting or without harsh punishments, right? That will be the best thing. So
yeah,
the same way when it comes to counseling, it should be very personalized thing, right?
mm,
So before going into counseling, you have to do your groundwork like
yeah,
observation, uh, getting the details,
mm,
getting the details, getting the referrals, talking to her friends, and you forgot the important thing. You have to talk to their parents first,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Otherwise, it's not going to help you,
mm,
right? So you have
yeah,
to
ma'am.
talk to her parents first to see what's exactly going on at home. So once you
Mm,
talk to the parents, according to their response, you will understand whether she has proper support or whether she is having an abusive background,
yeah,
right? So first you
true.
have to collect all your referrals. Now we
Mm,
came up with the stages of counseling now.
yeah, ma'am.
So first you have to maintain eye contact, make her sit, make her feel easy, make her talk, right?
Mm, yeah,
So all these things you learn, you have to use. So that's why I
mm,
gave you this case. This right?
mm.
Okay. So then after getting you now
Have you?
we'll yeah. Tell,
No,
tell me,
ma'am. I
Amrita.
wrote the. No, ma'am. I just read the second question. I thought you're going the second question.
Okay.
Hmm.
No. Now, once you do all those things, you will start moving into the stages where you try to empower her, make her understand the importance of the learning,
Hmm.
education, and
Yeah.
those things. You can go ahead,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, good. Then, what is next?
How would you guide her parents?
Yeah. So I told you that you have to talk to her parents, isn't it?
Hmm.
Now, how will you, now after talking to her, how will you
Now, ma'am.
guide her parents? Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah.
How will you do it?
Now, ma'am, her father also alcoholic, right?
Yes.
So even we don't know whether he is ready to listen or not. So we can talk to her mother and have to show a path to the father also. Like for the alcohol and all, there is a centers as well now. So
Mm,
from their help, and we can arrange a person guide to guide that guy also. So and have to talk to her mother, and they are that girl is very poor, right? So
mm.
for their living thing, we can make some arrangements. And first, before all that, we have to talk to her what is the actual problem, and we have to find the thing,
True. Yes.
isn't it?
So when you're talking to the parents only, you will get to know what is actually going on with the parents,
Parents.
right? With the, at
Yeah, ma'am.
home, right?
Yeah.
So then you will do some guidance to the parents. If the
Mm.
father is alcoholic, you can help them in alcohol prevention or
Mm.
something to do with that. You can
Yeah.
guide them to a place where they do alcoholic prevention and all those things you can guide. Right, very good. Then what is the third question?
Mm. What can be her childhood disturbance which is contributing to her present difficulties?
Okay, what can be?
So, in her present difficulty, she have like memories of broken love affair in the school, and
Mm-hmm,
lack of interest for any leisure activity and sexual feelings.
mm-hmm,
So she has the kind of those problems also. So sometimes first she don't have any person to care her, love her. So that's why she got an affair with the school time. Sometimes
mm.
she might feel in that way that person must be care of her, love her for that
Yeah,
only. So and the person who loved her, that person intention must be another thing or something we don't know.
mm.
So she might have abused or not. So for that,
Maybe, maybe not.
to so take her from that memories, we have to give some mind relaxation exercise and guidance, how to come out from that memories and motivation things we have to do for her to take her out from that memories and those uh, anyway, if it's happened or not, abused or not, we have to take a, it's just a part of the life. There are a lot of things to see in the world, and we have to do more thing in the world. So in that way we can guide her. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yeah, somewhat yes. There are things that you have to add more also. Now
Okay, ma'am.
the question is, what
Hmm.
made her,
Hmm.
what made her to lead to this situation,
Hmm.
right? So you can
Yeah.
see from different aspects, right?
Okay, ma'am.
As you
Okay.
said, whether there is abuse, and you can see whether there is other things. And now you have to remember that she is, it says that she is willing
Hmm.
to stay alone all the time,
Yeah.
isn't it? And
Yeah, ma'am.
she
Yeah.
has a computer, but she is not interested in social life.
Life.
She
Yeah.
even doesn't know how to operate it.
Yeah.
She is not interested, and she is not maintaining any relationship with the house owners also.
Also, okay.
And she like to stay in dark room,
Hmm.
right? So all these things shows a social withdrawal.
Hmm.
She's withdrawing herself from the society, isn't it?
Yeah. True.
Right? So
Yeah,
we
ma'am.
have to take this also into consideration.
Okay.
Okay. So
Hmm.
these things can be she might be in social phobia, or can be in depression, deep depression.
Hmm.
Hmm? So any of so what made her to come to this situation? Her childhood abuse,
Hmm.
physical
True.
abuse, and her memories on abuse,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And what else?
And I think
Lack of
uh,
confidence because of because the lack of confidence maybe because of a broken relationship. She might,
relationship,
yeah, she might
and
thought that
she
she
might
can't.
hate her father doesn't love her. Her brothers, I don't. They didn't mention how the brothers care her or not. Nothing. So
Yeah,
she might kind of having a hate about the boys and the environment.
yeah,
So that's
maybe she is having
yeah.
some negative feelings towards
Feelings.
males,
Yeah. So that's it.
isn't it? Right.
Yeah, ma'am. So shall
Okay.
I read the fourth question, ma'am?
Yeah, read.
If you meet Nalini now, what would
Nani.
be your response to her? Nalini, yeah.
Yeah. If you meet her now this is the
Hmm.
time for you to do a proper counseling session, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Using your skills, using your characters, using
Hmm.
your knowledge of counseling, everything.
Hmm.
Now you can use it in this stage. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay,
So
cool.
now she is out of school and she is working, no?
Working,
So
yes.
so
She is she is working,
but still she is alone, like feeling alone and all.
yes.
She
Feeling
is
alone.
ignoring the society.
She is ignoring the society. She is
Okay.
scared to go to the society. She has
Okay.
no interest towards it.
Yeah.
And even the job she is doing because she wants to feed the
She won't.
mother and herself,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And she is
Hmm.
not getting any support from the brothers too.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, ma'am.
so those are the issues. So now for the last question, you can use all your counseling knowledge what you have gathered here, and you
Hmm.
have to write a proper report.
Okay,
What
ma'am.
will be your plan? Okay. So
Hmm.
next, I want all the answers to be mailed to me. Huh?
Ah, okay, ma'am.
Understand?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. What about others? What about others?
I think Danshika has a problem with her connection. She left and came. Now she's fine, right?
Yeah. Sangavi has sent everyone the case study. I can see all the names in CC. Okay, Tanya has said. Yeah. Tanushika, you should have got it, Tanushika, because you gave her the email ID, no? Tanushika, email ID கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க தானேம்மா? Because I'm sending the notes to her.
I think her line is problem.
Yeah, I think
Okay, ma'am.
so. Right. So because I'm giving the notes also to Sangavi's mail. So you all make sure that you get all the notes and whatever I'm sharing. Okay? Now somebody has left. Fine. Right. So with today and next class, we'll be done with counseling, guidance and counseling. Right? and I'll be sending you some notes, some journals which you can read for you to get some ideas about clear ideas about what is counseling, how you do counseling, what are the important skills, how you will do those skills and everything. After reading, if you have any questions, if you can't understand anything, you can ask me. I'll mail that article also. There are few articles which we get it from UN and other places, which is very simple and which is useful. I think it's useful for you to get some ideas about counseling and guidance because you are going to engage in some with students, so you might need it. Okay, right. Who is this? Let me is saying that she didn't get the mail yet. Okay. Since Sangavi is not here, we can't check this. So once Sangavi comes, I'll ask her to. I'll ask her what happened. Okay. So for the
Ma'am,
moment, yeah.
Sangavi sent to everyone. I can see from
Uh,
Sangavi for me, Tania, Rinos _4@yahoo.3@gmail.com, Netmini Pahan@gmail.com. She sent to everyone.
she has
Yesterday,
sent to everyone.
5:28. Yeah.
Yeah, because I sent her, so she would have sent it to you all. I don't know why you are not getting it.
She sent to
I can
everyone.
refresh the page again and see.
Yeah, yeah. Do something like that and see in at me. If not, I'll ask her to
Which
send you again.
means I didn't get it.
Maybe the email ID Tanya.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanya, you can forward the mail to let me again, no?
Yes.
Yeah, do that. Okay. No point waiting for Sangavi now, no?
Yeah.
Whoever got it, just pass the mail so everyone will have it. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So right. So today we have to look into counseling skill practice, right? Now,
Hmm.
counseling, you may get confused in few places where in the characteristics also we talk about empathy and certain things, and also in the skill also we talk about. Okay, Amrita sent. Right. Okay. So you will find empathy in characteristics, and also then again in the skills also. So don't confuse. Its characteristic is something else like which you have to have within you, and the skill practice is something. Skills are something that you should practice actually. There are things that which you should practice, right? You should know how to apply that in your counseling sessions. So those are the things that we are going to check now today. So I let me share my screen. Okay, it's in a Word document, so I'll. Sorry, girls, with this all these whatever that I'm going through calls and everything, I'm not in a position to do a slide thing. So I made it a Word document. I think it's all that is okay with you all.
Yeah, ma'am,
Mm,
it's okay.
right. Because these things I was reserving to do in a class, properly in a classroom setup. So now it's difficult. So we are going ahead with this. So take down the notes. So once this is over, when we meet in the class, I will be doing a role play session for you. It's very necessary. A role play session is necessary for this subject, right? So we'll have a role play session at in the classroom. So I'll reserve one class to do a recap of whatever we studied all these days, right? So I think is that okay with you all?
Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, no? Because without a role play
Yes,
class,
ma'am.
you won't get the proper idea how to apply these things, how it comes, how you use.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have a role play class.
Mm.
The
Okay,
last
ma'am.
class will be the role play class with a recap of everything. Right? I'll request from Nishantan also. Even though we finish all the notes and everything by today, right? The code of ethics and the role play, we'll do it in the classroom setup. Otherwise, it's not going to make any sense for us, right? Code of ethics is a different, separate book, which I can't type the whole thing in this. I'm trying to get a PDF version, but I don't have a PDF version, so I had to give you the code of ethics book, the Sri Lanka, according to Sri Lankan thing, code of ethics, right? So today we are doing a case study and the skill practice. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you see?
Yeah,
Anybody
ma'am.
can?
Can
Oh,
see.
right. Counseling skill practice.
Counseling skill.
Counseling is a process that client may explain his or her stressful or emotional feelings with the counselor. Counseling is the act of helping the client to see things more clearly, possibly from a different viewpoint. This can enable the client to follow on feelings, express or behavior with a goal to facilitate positive change. To build up the relationship between the counselor and the client, trust and confidentiality is vital in successful counseling. Therefore, basically, professional counselors will usually explain their policy on confidentiality. However, counselors can disclose clients' information if they believe that there is a risk of client's life. I told you this before, right? We go on the trust, but we break that rule on client's life risk. Otherwise, the trust. So, counseling is not giving advice, being judgmental, attempting to sort out the problem of the client. We are not the people who can sort out any problems of the client. Client is the one who is in the problem, so he is the only one who can help himself sort the problem. So don't struggle to sort the problem. Don't try to sort problems. Okay? Don't feel bad if you can't sort problems, because counseling is not attempting to sort problems. Okay? Expecting or encouraging a client to behave in a way in which the counselor may have behaved when confronted with a similar problem in their own life. Right? Expecting or encouraging a client to behave in a way in which the counselor may have to behave when confronted with the similar problem. Sometimes we uh, would have felt the same problem, right? You would have confronted the same problem which is client is going through, but you can't expect the client to behave in the same way that you behaved when you confronted the problem. So counseling is not that. You are not applying your own emotions or your own experience to client. That's not counseling. And getting emotionally involved with the client. This is what happens when you lose your empathy and get into sympathy. You have to remember there is a very thin line between empathy and sympathy. You should not pass that line. You have to be in empathy. If you pass that line, you will start feeling emotional towards somebody else's problem. Then your burnout will be high. So, as counselors, when you are doing a counseling, you should not get into the emotions of the client. Looking at a client's problem from your own perspective based on your own value system. Okay, so you should not do these things. Applying your values, beliefs, and experience to clients' problem. Right? Right. Are we clear? We spoke about this before. Now we are
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about it again because it comes under skills as well. A counselor should be able to apply all these things in his counseling session. Counselor should understand no two people understand the same language in the same way. Their understanding will always be linked to their personal experience of the world. Therefore, during the counseling process, it is important that the counselor should not try to fit clients into his or her idea of what they should be and how they should act. So you can't direct them. You are not the director of their life. So when you do counseling, the important skill, one of the important skill is to not to apply your own beliefs into their thing. No two people are same. It's individual. The counseling principle also says individuals have different viewpoints, right? You have to respect the individual as he is, right? We studied in the principles, right? Isn't it? Now don't confuse education psychology and counseling and guidance, okay? Don't mix up. Those are two different things, right? So another skill that counselor should have is attending skills. What is attending skills? What is attending skills?
Yeah. Have to listen when we are counseling someone. Have
Listening,
to listen.
way you attend to the client. How you listen? You maintain eye contact. Eye contact is a important attending skill, right? Counselor should have ability to keep eye contact with the client. This will help to build up trust of client the towards the counselor. Okay, the client may precious genuineness of counselor, right? Client should be the precious thing, and you have to show the genuinity towards them, right? So you have to maintain the eye contact throughout the session. So that is one of the main attending skill. But don't expect the client to maintain the eye contact with you, because that is your observation. You can do your own observation by maintaining eye contact towards the clients. But client might have a lot of distresses, right? So because of those distresses, client might take away his eye contact and might look somewhere else. Sometimes when they talk about the past, they will be looking nowhere, like they'll be looking up or down, or sometimes they can turn around and sit also. That's not your problem, but you have to keep eye contact with the client. And if he is turning around and looking somewhere else, you have to do your observation. You can't look around as a counselor. So eye contact is one attending skill. And attract attentive body language. What is attentive body language? I'll show you when we do the role play what is attentive and what is not. Now in words, counselor's body posture should be in relaxing way. You have to sit in a relax. Now I have spoke about this even in the classes before, when we are talking about stages of counseling. We spoke about this, no? Aren't we? Anyone? All of you are sleeping. Huh? That's stages. When we are talking about stages, we did, no? Amrita. Tanshika? படிச்சனா இல்லையா அமிர்த தனுஷிகா?
என்னது மிஸ் விளங்கல?
என்னது மிஸ் இவ்வளவு நேரம் என்ன கேட்டுக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன் கேள்வி? பாடி
கிளியர் இல்லாம இருக்கு அதுதான்.
எது கிளியர் இல்லாம இருக்கு? எந்த லைனா?
இல்ல இல்ல எந்த இது டேட்டால வேலை செய்யறதுனால கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்குது.
ஓகே. ஸ்டேஜஸ் ஆஃப் கவுன்சிலிங் படிக்கும்போது இந்த விஷயங்கள் நாங்க பேசி இருக்கோம் இதுக்கு முதல்லையும். ஓகே, ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் ரிப்பீட்டிங், ஐம் புட்டிங் இட் இன்டு திஸ் திங். ஓகே, அதனால கவனிச்சு கொள்ளுங்க. இது முதல்ல படிச்சோமே அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கிறீங்களா? the reason is this comes to the skills. அப்படி ஒன்று இருக்கணுங்கிறது சரி, ஆனா அதை எப்படி அப்ளை பண்றதுங்கிறது தான் இப்ப பாக்குறோம். ரைட்? counselor's body posture should be in relaxing way. Counselor should show his readiness to listen to the client. Right? If you are looking at the watch and the clock and all those things, then client might get the idea, information that you are not ready to listen to him or her. When the client comes to the counselor, if you are in a don't care position, the client will not trust you. Okay? If you show that you don't care about them, then there will be a trust issue between you and the client. Okay. No writing or not doing anything in front of the client. So normally we take notes, but in some clients, in some cases, we don't do that in front of client. Right? They might get anxious because we are just because we are taking notes. So you can either listen to them carefully and keep it in mind and write the case study later without writing in front of them, because that might lose the client might lose his trust and confidence towards you. No odd behavior like yawning in front of them, smoking in front of the client, right? Or crossing your legs, crossing your hands, and know these things in front of your clients, and no slang words. Right? You may
Which
be
means, ma'am?
using sorry?
Which means, ma'am?
Slang words like something which you use but client can't understand. Sometimes we use idioms, பழமொழி பாவிக்கிறது, idioms பாவிக்கிறது, some sentences which client might not understand. Sometimes you use certain words like unrespectful words, filthy words, nothing
Yeah.
in front of the client. Like when they are talking, like you are saying, "Oh shit," right? Oh my God. Those type of things we don't use, right? No slang words in front of client. So the attentive body language should have all these things. So applying these things is a skill in same time. Okay? Because we have to manage ourselves, right? We have to be congruence level. We can't get into incongruence level because client comes with the incongruence level. So we have to maintain our congruence level. Congruence level in the sense you are not puzzled in your mind. You are clear. You are going out with a clear mind. Right? Right. Now listening and understanding. Right? So listening and understanding, you explain principles, read and talk. You can ask them to talk, or if they have any write-ups, you can read. But you have to understand, you have to listen. So while listening, you have to listen with all these things. your eyes, your ears, your head, your heart, your body, right? So listening skills has empathetic responding, right? You can nod your head, you can say mm-hmm, uh, like that. Okay, there are verbal and non-verbal responses are there, which the counselor can give. Verbal ones has all these sounds. Mm-hmm, yes, I understand how it is. Okay, can you tell me, elaborate more? Can you tell me more about it? So it means you are showing your empathy towards you. You show your empathy. Yeah, I understand how you feel. So that is empathy, empathetic response. Hmm. But don't use sympathetic response like, oh my God, like that. Those are sympathetic responses. Empathetic response is something like, I understand. I know what you are going through. I know it is difficult for you. Okay? Those are empathetic response, right? This is a part of listening. While you are listening to the client, you have to show your feelings to the client. You have to turn your feelings to words. The counselor should respond to the client, and the client may recognize the counselor's understanding to the towards the client, right? So you have to you have to show you have to show the response through the words, the feelings towards the client with your words, right? This is called empathetic understanding. Empathetic understanding and empathetic responding both go together. You have to understand client's feeling and then you have to respond, right? Right. Okay, I have given you an example. For example, yes, I understand your worries. Client may say, I am really sad about the things happening around me. I did not expect these things before. No, I have a feeling that I am very unlucky woman or man in this world, right? So empathetic response, once you give the empathetic response, client might say more about the feelings, right? And they say how much they feel, how important that feeling it is for them, right? So counselor's response can be, I understand all your experience you had. You did not expect in your life. Yes, I understand it is unbearable for you. Or yes, it is hard for you. So you can give the responses like this. Okay? So that is one kind of listening, empathetic listening, understanding, and responding. Any questions in this?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So next is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing in the sense the client may start to tell his or her story. Same time he may cry. The same time his words may not clear. Counselor should have the ability to paraphrase his all feelings in another different way. Now sometimes clients start telling all these things and they start cry, and then while crying they say things, lot of things which is not clear, right? But you should be able to listen to those unclear words also and tell them back what you heard to make it clear that is the exact thing that they told you, and show them that you are listening to their words. So paraphrasing is telling the same story which you heard from them in your words and your understanding again to them. It won't happen in the beginning. It happen in the midway once the client is done with his story, almost done with his story. Then you have to do a paraphrasing showing that you have listened and you understood his feelings, and to make sure that you got the problem clear. If you, when you are saying, if there is some places that you got it wrong, then client can say, no, that is not that is not what I meant, it's something else. Then he will elaborate on that more, so you can get more information from the client. So paraphrasing is an important thing once the story, once the listening is done. Okay, any questions about paraphrasing?
No, ma'am.
So paraphrasing done before the goal setting stage, right? In the referral stage, after the referrals, you take the referrals and you listen to them, and the paraphrasing come before the goal setting stage. Okay, right. Then we go into questioning, right? Then we go into questioning. So in questioning, there are two types of questioning methods. One is open ended, one is close ended. So this also we learned before. I told you something like this is there. So this session should go in a role play way, one by one, but we couldn't do it. We'll do it later, but keep this notes. On that day, we will practice everything: how to question, how to paraphrase, how to listen, how to maintain eye contact, how to give attending body language. Everything one by one, we'll sit and do. Okay, so keep these things. I'm just explaining how it will be. That's all. So open-ended question. What is open-ended questions? What is open-ended questions? The questions which allow the client to talk more, right? Now, if you ask, did you eat? Then it's a close-ended question, because they can just answer by yes or no. So after that, there is nothing for them to elaborate. But if you ask, did you eat? What did you eat? Then they can go on. Yes, I ate these things. Did you enjoy your food? Then that will be an open-ended question where they have chances to talk more. But close-ended questions are like, what is your name? Where are you from? What is your phone number? Do you have any support system? All these things are close-ended questions, which you will ask in the initial part of the counseling session. But when they start with their stories, your questioning should be open-ended to make them talk more, express themselves more. Okay? Counselor should ask open-ended questions rather than close-ended questions. They ask close-ended questions in the start to just to gather basic information. But when it comes to the story, when it comes to the case, feelings, you should ask open-ended questions. Right. Any questions in this? Tania, Amrita? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So, you got it. What is what we are doing in a counseling session? The skills which we learn as characteristics and all. How we are going to apply those things in the skills, and what is the technique that we are going to use to make the people talk. Right. Okay. So finally, once you asked, they told, and you paraphrase, and you cleared out the referrals and everything, and you started questioning to get more information about the distress, about the disorder or distress, or about the situation what they are going through. Okay, so then here comes the goal setting part. Analyze. You come to the assessment. Now you are analyzing. right? In analyzing, counselor should understand the client's real situation and in analyze client's true story behind his or her difficulty, right? Sometimes clients might tell something to you, but actual story will be something else. So you have to identify what is the untold story, because the important thing in a communication, according to Peter Tucker, he says the important thing in the communication is you listen to the untold story of that conversation. There will be an untold part in that conversation. Okay? So if you can listen to that, you will understand the whole communication clearly. Okay? This, right? So, counselor should understand the client's real situation and analyze client's true story behind his or her difficulty. Right. The most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. That's what Peter Drucker says. Okay. So, as counselors, by observing the client, by listening to untold words, you can gather lot of things, right? Because client is incongruence, but you are not like that. You are outside the problem, so you can see lot of things, you can see lot of threats, lot of opportunities in his problem. So that is how you will guide him, you will direct him in his life. Okay, right, any questions? Any questions? Okay, now then we go into reframing. Reframing is a skill that you have to apply according to reframing or managing. According to the things explained by the client so far, counselor should put them to another psychological frame, right? So, from the story that you got from the client and you apply all your analyzing assessments and everything, you reframe, right? You build something from their words. There is a word for this. What is that? You build a hypothesis, right? Hypothesis building we call it, and or reframing, right? So according to the things explained by the client so far, counselor should put them to another psychological frame. So you put the frame according to the clinical assessment or analysis and everything. So that is called reframing. For that, here your competency, the counselor's competency, counselor's experience, counselor's knowledge, counselor's psychological knowledge, everything comes here in reframing situation. You have to use all these characteristics as a skill to do the reframing, right? So once you do the reframing, there comes the confrontation, right? Clients' irrational and illogical thoughts should be challenged by the counselor to change the client or the way he or she perceive this world. Now, there should be some irrational or illogical thoughts when you are doing the reframing. You will understand. They might think, okay, I'm not good enough. I don't fit into this life. The world is so cruel, right? Or sometimes they think, okay, somebody is trying to kill me. My husband might have a relationship with someone else because I'm not beautiful. I am losing. So all these things might be illogical. Maybe her husband is busy with some other work, office work. He is busy in finding food for them and putting a roof on top of them. But she might feel lonely because she has nothing to do. So you have to confront these illogical or and irrational thoughts through confrontation, right? So you can ask them, why, what makes you feel like this? Why, what is the reason you are talking like this? So you are confronting the irrational and illogical thoughts, but not the client. You have to be clear about it. The thoughts which is spoken by the client is not the client's real face. So you are not confronting the client, but you are confronting their irrational thoughts, right? That will make them think in a different way. Give a different point, okay? Or give some logics. So in confrontation, you can do all these things. Here also you use your expertise, you use your calmness, you use your sense of humor, sense of presence. All these characteristics will help you to do the confrontation in a proper way. If you miss it, if you miss your cool, if you miss your sense of presence, then this will become totally a different thing where you will lose the client, and there you can break the client's mindset. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you are doing confrontations, right? Any questions? This also we'll practice in a role play when we are doing it. I'll give you cases and we'll practice. We can do this in interest. This will be very interesting. So when we practice, we can see these things, right? Okay. Any questions? Amrita? Amrita, any questions? Radha?
No, ma'am.
Tanya, you don't have any question? No, this class is very good, no? No questions. Very good. Amrita joined twice.
Yeah,
Okay. Right. So if there's no questions, we'll go to the conclusion part. So, in conclusion, counselor comes to the final conclusion considering all the facts. At the same time, therapist can discuss with the client about the therapeutic approaches can be applied. Right? So here you come, you finish the assessment and everything. Now we are setting the goal. The conclusion part fall into the goal setting. Conclusion, you have to, you should be able to come to this position with your skills. So this is also a skill where you have to apply properly, directing the client to set up a goal according to the needs of the client, whether he needs a therapy, whether he needs a behavior change. Yeah. Okay, so you can direct the client towards the therapy or to the doctor if it is necessary, or to any other legal formations if it is necessary, right? Anything that you have to direct them, you can direct them. Okay, so conclusion, you can come to that level where you are going to move into the next level of setting goals and moving on goals toward moving on the process towards the goal. Finding solutions. Counselor can discuss alternatives and solutions with the client. Now you can discuss his decisions or his alternatives with him or her. You are not going to give any advice, or you are not going to give any solutions to the client. You are just discussing what they have identified as solution or alternative. Okay, so finding solutions, after that referrals. Counselor should refer the clients for other services if they need. In this here, if they need a doctor, if there is a problem with the, we'll say, okay, couple came because they don't have kids and they have lot of conflicts between them, so you can suggest a doctor for them to go and see for their needs. Like you can advise IVF methods and everything, you can suggest, and you can suggest some referrals to a doctor. Or legal things, if they need any legal things, you can direct to a lawyer, or any, now women cases, we send them to women in need and places like that. So you can give referrals. So for that you have to be equipped. You should know where to get things, how to get things done, where to go, and who is good, whether they will answer, whether they are helpful. So you have to have a list of referrals with you to deal with this type of situation. For example, to get the legal advice, to meet psychiatric or general physician, or to meet a career guidance counselor. According to the need, you should have references to refer them to the best person. Okay, right. So these are the skill practices that you have to take, that you have to do when it comes to counseling. If, because guidance, we know what to do. Counseling, this process has to be followed, and these skills has to practice. These skills come to you by practicing, right? These you can't just by reading or by going through the note and everything, you can't get it. So you have to practice. So for that, we will do the role plays in the class, and I'll show you how this will this can manage by using all these referral or using all these skills. Okay, anything that you want to ask? Now you know, for the Nalini's case, how to handle Nalini's case, which I gave you, isn't it? Can you do that again now? Anyone? Now with this methods, now I have given you some skill practice. With the skill practice, do you think that you can handle Nalini's case better than before?
Yeah, ma'am.
Hmm?
We got the idea.
You got the idea how to handle the
Handle.
case in a
Yeah.
processful way, right?
Yeah.
So now I want all of you to write the case. Okay, go through the case. I don't want you to write the case again. Answer all 5 questions and mail me, or else put it to the Moodle system. Okay, Now, Amrita doesn't have a Moodle system.
I'll send you email.
You send me an email. And what about the mind mapping, everybody? Mind maps, did you all transfer to the Moodle or did you all send me mails? I only I got it from Tanushika and Sangavi. Others, what about others? Tanya, did you do?
No, ma'am, I didn't do it.
You didn't do. So I have to finish it and put it to the Moodle or to my mail so that I can check and see
Means
whether you are
mind
mind
map
mapping.
of everything that we have studied.
Mind mapping is not here. It's in the education psychology.
Yeah, but everything that we have studied from psychology, we have to do that.
Yeah, education psychology. You have to do a mind map. That's what I said. This case study, I want you to write in a methodical way according to the studies that you did all this in this, which you studied today. So I want you all to write in a proper way how you will do it. Let it be wrong. Let it be in a language, in a normal language. I'm not worried about the grammars and all these things. I'm worried about the content. Okay? So don't worry, okay, I am not writing properly or this or that. Nothing to worry. Just I want to know whether you got the idea, proper idea. So try to answer the questions and send it to me. Okay? Any problems in that? Any questions in that?
No, ma'am. So we'll all do and send to you, and we'll send you a message so you can check the email, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, I check my mails continuously because I get notifications in all four gadgets that I have around me. So no issues. I can check, right?
Okay,
So you
ma'am.
send it
Okay.
to me. You just send it to me, the mail, but make sure that you put your name and the class and the branch
Okay, ma'am.
because
Okay.
I don't know whether came from Kotehena or Bambalapitiya. Okay, I do 2 classes now. So you put your name and the course and the branch, the place, Kotehena or Bambalapitiya. Okay, and send me the note because we have your assignments has come. We have to do the assignments also, and I have to explain you the assignments, so which I will do it in the next class also, right? So code of ethics, there is a book. I'll try to scan. If I don't can't scan, I'll send it to you in a different way, or else when we are doing the study in the class, I'll give it to you and I'll explain. Uh, so there are some code of ethics which as a counselor, which we have to follow. One is the concreteness, confidentiality. So non-judgmental and all these things are not comes under code of ethics, but confidentiality is highly expected in a counselor, right? And maintaining certain social images and being free from all the mental ailments is a one requirement to be a counselor. Okay, and processing proper qualification and being a member of a counseling organization is a must. to practice. You must obtain a license to practice as a counselor. Teachers can do counseling to their students, but if you are practicing as a counselor, you have to obtain license or register yourself as a counselor in medical council. And there are things when it comes to the client's relationship. There are things that you have to follow as a counselor. Some are like you can't have any outside relationships. It means you can't have relationships with counselor clients, any financial relationship, sexual relationship, love affairs. Everything is prohibited um, with the client. And you can't do counseling. You have to prohibit doing counseling to friends and families, for your close friends, and your family members can't get counseling or psychotherapy treatments from you. It's prohibited because that will give bad impacts on your profession and also to them, and you can't succeed uh, by doing counseling to your family or friends. So it's prohibited for a counselor, a self NPC counselor, to do counseling to any. And according to Sri Lankan law, a person who is not married is not allowed to do sexual counseling. Okay, not married. It's kind of a, ethic, and also it's because of the cultural background of Sri Lanka. So that is not this code of ethic will not apply to all the countries, but in Sri Lankan context, this law is there. Okay, I don't know whether they are changing now, but up to my knowledge at the moment, this is there. And the other thing, you have to maintain proper attire, the dress, and you are not supposed to visit clients personal spaces like house, office, to do counseling, give counseling service. They should come to your place, the place where you are stationed. You are not supposed to go to their places to give counseling unless otherwise the client is highly sick and admitted in a hospital or bedridden. Only in these cases you have to get the approval from the council and go for counseling. Otherwise, it's not recommended for a counselor to go to a client's place and do counseling. Okay, we never go to houses. You can get them to your house, bring them to your house and give counseling if you have a separate space for counseling at your home. But you can't go to the client's house to give counseling. That is completely prohibited. And discussing your client's details in public or using the case without the consent of the client is prohibited. Okay. And another thing is uh, charging. Counseling charges should be in the limit. You can and at least 1 hour you have to give a counseling service to a client. That is the effective time limit. Increasing or decreasing you can decide, but at least 1 hour you have to give for the charge that you are charging from the client. You can do free counseling also, that is up to you, but charging has to be in a limit. Okay, so there are some other things which you will get it when you get the handout to you. And along with this note, I'll be sending you another journal for you to read. That has lot of clear explanation on listening, empathy, and helping, and all those things, right? So you go through, and if you find anything difficult to understand, you can ask me. Okay. We are getting a new person into the group. Who's that? Shahi Naz. Okay. Okay. If everyone is clear about the session, can we wind up for the day? Because you all didn't get the case study to discuss. So now everybody has. So I'll go through the case study. If you have any questions on the case study, you can call me and write the answers and send it to me before the next class. Okay? Don't send me on the day of the class, because then I can't check. So at least a day before or 2 days before, you send me the answers so I can do the corrections. And be clear, this case study is not count on any of your marks or anything, but it's very important for you to analyze what is your understanding towards this module. Okay, so please do it. Don't work for marks, work for your knowledge. This will help you to gain a lot of knowledge in your future. Okay, any questions? Who's this rhino? Galaxy is done. Net me. Others
Miss,
I know.
it's me, Rinosha.
Reno.
It's me, Rinosha.
Rinosha. Okay. I thought I read it rhino. Okay, Rinosha. Rinosha, you got the mail?
Yeah, miss, I got.
You got the mail.
Yeah.
Did you answer the questions?
No, not yet because I didn't had internet, but I will start doing it today.
Good. So start doing it today and send it to me fast so I
Okay.
can correct it. If you have any questions, feel free to call me and ask.
Okay, miss.
More than calling, text me and ask, because I'm handling lot of calls these days. Sometimes you might have to wait on the line for a long time. Okay, so
Okay.
better text me and ask the questions if you have any. So whenever I get time, I'll reply. Okay,
Okay, miss. Okay, miss.
cool. Any questions so far? Now take all your notes and see whether you got all the notes in proper order, and go through the notes. And if you have any questions, ask me. Will I can clear it to you, no problem. So study well. If there is no questions, we can wind up the class, no problem. Shall we? Tanya, is it good to go? Tanya, is it okay? Amrita? Amrita.
Yes, ma'am.
Amrita? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. If there is no questions, we'll wind up the class today.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and I'll see you all next Wednesday.
Okay, ma'am. Take care, ma'am. God bless you.
Next
Thank you.
Wednesday or
Thank
next
you.
Monday? Next Wednesday, no? Next Wednesday.
Next
Okay,
Wednesday.
take care. All of you do the work well and do the revisions also well, so that you will get a lot of questions when you are doing this. I know.
Yeah, ma'am.
So do that and come back to me for the questions, and we can discuss everything. So most
Okay.
probably the next class will be the last class on
Okay.
this module. We are done with everything. Only
Okay,
thing I
ma'am.
have to give you certain notes and clear out your doubts. So we can have a role play in the other class,
Okay, ma'am.
in the actual class, not in a virtual class. Okay. Okay. So be safe, kids. We'll hope for the best. Hope to see you all soon.
Okay, ma'am. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take
God
a good
bless
day.
you, ma'am.
Have a good day. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you.
Tanya, you can stop the recording.